Well, hello there, YouTube, and welcome to a 17-degree day today. It was a degree warmer than yesterday, although it's made it up to 27 now. It's crazy. It might actually get pretty nice today if it's increasing temperature that quick. 10 degrees in a few hours. But anyway, it's Monday I'll get my date straight here, 27th. Ooh, and my Bumot bag is supposed to be here today. Coming to here, I don't know how I made that mistake. It's being delivered here, not at work. So it took extra time. Yeah, it went all the way up to Bumot, Washington. That's halfway between Lacey and Tacoma up there. Good Lord. But yeah, anyway, Christy's here, so at least there's somebody here to receive it. Christy and the kids. She takes them to school, and turns out they called a 2-hour late thing in, so I don't know. She says it's pretty slippery out there. But anyway, beautiful out here, not a cloud in the sky. Stunning. And we're heading off to work. Yo, come on along. 36 degrees, absolutely stunning out here. It's predicting 46 as a high. 46 is nice and comfortable.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Heck of comfortable.
Yeah.
Mama, that
Just
Monday done slipped herself right back around again.
She's sneaky that way.
Yeah, that's a way of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's so light out here today.
I know.
Where is everybody?
I don't know.
We might be the only 2 employees in there. Well, Mama,
Yes.
have yourself a wonderful Monday, and I'll
You
see
too.
you as the day goes on.
All right.
All right. Love you. See you. Bye.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I corrected his, remember his clamp wasn't in there right, and the, he had an extra cheesy, them old rock hard, I think that's the ones that, what do you call it, battery tender cells. These are the nice, Optimate ones with a nice seal and stuff on them. But anyway, I had 2 of them on there. So I left the one, the Optimate, and he had the second one, that cheap one, was underneath the battery on both sides. They need to be above the high tension cable. So that's all greased and swapped over. He had those little 4mm Allens in there that aren't, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but battery bolts are made out, got a special coating on them so they don't corrode. Well, these things, I mean, these are just cheap something or another, and yeah, wasn't gonna last long. So I got that corrected, and I got that bar. I haven't straightened any of this stuff. You can see how it's all bent back on both sides. Now, I don't usually get them bent on this side, so it's going to be interesting because that plastic coolant pipe is sitting right there, so that's going to be tricky to get my Knipex pliers in there. It's amazing the power of those things, just absolutely nuts. You can get such a bite on them. I can literally, because I put my chest up against these bars, and I straddle it kind of like this, and I grab the pliers and pull back. I can literally drag this over 1,000-pound Spyder across the bench. Of course, it's only the back wheel that's keeping it from moving, but I can skid that back wheel along, getting that thing straight. But if you're wondering why that thing looks so tweaked and out of shape, that's what it's supposed to look like. Look at that, all tweaked. Look how far back that thing is tweaked, because you can set it on top. That's pretty nuts, huh? What a hot mess. But I gotta dig the radiator grommets out, and that grommet for the lower hose fitting right here. And if I'm not mistaken, I keep pointing this one out, but I keep forgetting that one's underneath there. I think it's in this turn is where that hose gets bent with the curb scoopers. I don't remember. We've had 2 or 3 of them, but you can see just taking the pressure off the gap that there is between the A-arm and that hose. It's close, but it never touches. But that thing is so bent, it was holding it up. It's amazing it didn't break any of that bracketry in there for that water pipe. Cool stuff. All right, my Bumot bag or top case was supposed to be there between 9:45 and 11:45. Well, it's, what are we now? 12:22. So now it just says by the end of day. You know, it's not like, I love Amazon's thing where you can actually see where the driver's at. You know, when they get fairly close, you can see where they're at. And usually once they cross the bridge, you know, from Oregon to Washington here, which literally, if them trees and stuff weren't in the way, you could literally see downtown Portland from here. It's that close. You look where you pull out on 205 and go to Oregon. It's like less than 3 miles, road miles. So you know that's curves and whatever. It's real quick. But anyway, once you get over, I've had it sometimes where it's showing their locator while they were in Oregon, but that stopped. I think it's, I don't know, it must be geo-fenced into Washington or something. But once he gets over here, I can see where he's at. But yeah, buddy, that thing flat had some banging and booming going on. You gotta remember, this thing's bolted, you know, into that frame in those 2 spots. Oh, and the bolts, you know, the nuts on the backside are really hard to get to. And I literally had no problem because I can get in there with a cheater bar, you know, and that's fairly shallow to get it in there. And I was able to hold it and then ratchet it out from the outside. And I always get stumped by this one. I'm going, because this one has the clip nut, and well, you can't get a socket or nothing on there. There's no way to get to it. So you always go, well, this is going to take forever. So you start the open end wrench, you know, forever spin, and then you realize there's a nut on on the other side. But anyway, it's nice to have it clean, because I think I replaced this stuff before I washed the asphalt gray one over there. So there's a recall out on the Gold Wings, and I show up this morning and I've got 3 Gold Wings down here, and there's like 2 of them out on the line out there. There's a recall for the, I don't know if it's the clutch hub nut or whatever. I kind of briefly went through the bulletin. It pays like 8 hours or something to do it, something like that. Or maybe I'm thinking of the transmission recall on the Spyders. So it's based on mileage, what year, what mileage. There's a bunch of stipulations there, whether you automatically get a new transmission shaft or you don't. And it's this shaft in particular that you get. And what's cool is because probably Cable and I are going to be doing these. Oh, he's already, no, I don't, I still got it back. So they're going to send in the first kit that we get one of those engine hangers that I've seen people, even in the forums, they're going, you know, my tech likes to do it without it. He just doesn't know how to use the tool. You hang that thing from that hook on the top of that, and that motor just lays there absolutely flat. Put a cherry picker or a forklift, if you, like, not down here, if you have a tall enough ceiling, and just pick it up and just walk back. It just slides right out. It literally slides on a cassette back here. I mean, it just slides right along. There's the top one where it slides across there. It's a flat bar that goes across there. And you take these bolts out, and the motor just shoop, out it comes. But when you have that, the way that hanger goes, it goes up and over the handlebars, and you can lift the bike or the engine with it still in there. You just get to the last bolt, And when the last bolts are out, you have all the bolts out, and it's going to sit there because it's... Oh, there's where it slides right there. It slides on a flat plate that goes across there, and a flat plate. You can actually see the edge of it right there for the front. And she comes on out. But you know, take all the bolts out, grab it with the tool, and just take the weight off of it, and just back up, and it comes right out. It's magical. So anyway, we'll have 2 of them. I'll have to use the cherry picker. He's got the tall ceiling up there. He can use the forklift. Or actually, where he's at, he's got that crane. You remember I had the crane when I was upstairs? And he can use that. I think that's how he took the one he did. He's already done one of these. And that's when we found out that there was an upcoming bulletin for him. But yeah, I've showed you this. I've shown this thing to probably 100 people or better by now. Where the transmission shaft snaps. And I personally, and what I've noticed, if you stick something down here and measure down the hole, the depth of this one and the depth of the new one that you get, there looks like there's almost like a snap ring land right there, but there's a difference in the machining anyway, because this is a gear rides here, and then the huge bearing for the, you know, the countershaft bearing is right there. And I think that where that like snap ring groove or something is a weak spot. Plus it's hollow that far down. The other ones are hollow in a different area. They're thicker. It doesn't go down as deep. I mean, it could just be, but we measured the depth of the hole with the new one, the depth of the hole with the old one, and the new one doesn't go past where that looks like almost like a snap ring land right there. So I think it was just some porous metal or something in some of them. I don't know exactly. I'm just assuming. And they will only go so far before they break, apparently. So it's based on year and mile, and whether it's F3 RT. Well, actually, F3 and RT, they're both the same thing, but it's a whole list of stuff, parameters that it's got to meet. And we've this is 17 through 19. We've had 3 or maybe 4, but they were all 2018 F3 touring models. And that's either the T or LTD. This is a T model here. And this one's part of the recall. And this thing sold, the guy's about to leave with it, and somebody ran the VIN number late or something, or it was after the bulletin came out. But this one's at the mileage and everything that it gets it. So from new stock, we've sold 11 that are under the bulletin. And then we have customers that come from all over, so you know, as they show up, we see if they've got it or not. This guy was so excited. I talked to him. I even set his foot pegs back a notch. In fact, you remember I was having a phone call with Kelly, and just me talking, you know, I was telling her that the pegs are in the stock position. She thought I said that we have the bar that he needs, which is a shorter bar to go back 1 notch. She thought I was saying we had it, so she calls back down. We don't have that in stock. Why would you say that? Woman, I don't know nothing about inventory up there. And I said, I'm down here in the dungeon, you're up there in the parts department. But anyway, nice little break here for a moment, shoot the bull and do some show and tell, and now I'm getting back on her. I'm get that front end straightened out, get that all back together, and then I'll do the belt, and I'll just knock the thing. I like using the skinnier bench because I can walk around and put the tub on a towel, so I can, and it'll spin on the bench easier. And because I mean, you literally have to take that thing completely apart to put that front fascia on there. As you can see, all the holes and stuff, it is all, they're all interlinked. It bolts to the tub, it bolts to the covers. It's pretty decent deal. It's just really scratched up bad. I think this one actually had some broken parts underneath there. I know the skid pan on the gray one there, that thing hit so many rocks it was literally starting to come apart. That's a tough little skid pan to see one in pieces like that. But despite what it went through, that skid pan prevented the tub from getting damaged, and it did its job. Even though there was hardly anything left of it, it absolutely did its job. People are all obsessed with putting a guard underneath there. The curb scooper. All it does is make it hit stuff. Badly hit stuff. Curb scoopers, I call them. Pull up to your local 7-Eleven there to grab a 6-pack on the way home, and next thing you know, you've got a trail of orange coolant going down the highway behind you. Right before the engine goes, I'm done. It squeaks to a stop. Because she's puking coolant. Because you put something down there that grabs everything. Anyway, let's get on here. First order of business is getting that this frame piece, which is welded to this, but it's not a structural part of the frame at all. It is literally just welded, hanging out, and its only purpose in life is to hold that bar, which in turn holds the lower part of the trunk and holds the radiators up. That's it. So it's not this being bent is not a frame replacement type of job. And these things hang out quite big from here all the way out, so you have room to tweak. The problem is it angles. It's got an angle to it underneath there, and you got to fight that. And fight is a key word. All right, got a truck out here. I need to go rescue. Feels like a work of art. Everything's all nice and straight and doing what it's supposed to do. It's got a little bit of ripples in there, but the plate bolts to it and kind of hides those. The main thing is that everything is square to the world. And it's got, the protection back again. But, yeah. Almighty. Now it's time to throw a belt on this thing. Look at that thing. Look how the inside, it just wore right to the fibers inside there. Man, that mud and stuff is evil. But you can see where it's just like pulling the threads. It's just, the thing's just coming apart. Cool. Very happy with that. I was a little concerned on that right hand side with that water pipe, but I was able to get in there and tweak it how I needed to do. And yeah, so a belt, rebuild the front trunk over here, and this thing is done. And a bunch of panels and stuff to go back underneath there. But anyway, I'm happy. Very, very happy. Look at the garbage that's still in that thing. Ain't no telling what kind of rocks and stuff will fall out. Look at that skid pan, did the same thing. She held on best she could. There's a nice fresh one. That's what she's supposed to look like. But that's what I got left, and then put all the bodywork back together. All the front end, I showed you that. Well, there were some pans I hadn't put in. I got the new belt in. You guys can make any of that out. New belts on, tensions aligned. It's just the front trunk, or the frunk, as a lot of people like to call it. And put it back together. How about that? Boy, that old belt, that was some kind of haggard. But it's funny when I put the new one on, because I go 5 turns out, and so that on each adjuster, so that it can go exactly where it was. Well, I don't know what kind of shape it was in, because we got it with the belt bad. And so anyway, I put the new belt on, went 5 in, and it was just a half a turn on the right and a quarter turn in on the left to get it aligned and tensioned correctly. So and the sales guy was down here and took some pictures to send to her to show she's almost done. It actually looks like nothing ever happened to this thing. It's crazy. It was just, some damage from being hauled up a boulder-laden muddy road in Mexico. It kind of beat some things up when that happened. And a lot of cleaning. And she's all good. Look what showed up today. Showed up here at the hacienda. My daughter packed this thing inside. So I packed it back out here. I'm like, dang girl, how'd you get that thing up the steps and in the house? There's no problem. So these are the straps. These are, I like to use sandwich bags. This is the straps for the bag lid. And these are the two straps, little holder straps for the saddlebags, and this is the one for what's possibly in here. And dang, wow, that thing's heavy. That's the mount kit for the. Wow, that's crazy how heavy that is. Those guys don't mess around with stuff being chintzy by no means. Yeah. Let me get it out of the box here and we'll take a gander at it. Look at that thing. It's just perfect size. So this is basically the same size as the BMW one, but about that much shorter. 3.7. Well, I don't know if it's exact, but the other one is 3.7 inches taller. And I just like that small. I mean, I just don't like, because like I say, a lot of times I just ride with the trunk on the back. Let's see if I can point something out, which would be very important to know. I can't make you see that very good, but right there, see that this used to be solid across here. It was either solid or I think you had to drill in this before, but now there's a hole there, and this is a pass-through. Where this is the rear tail section of the rear subframe. Well, this is a pass-through. It goes all the way through. Before, you ran the bolt up from the bottom, and this was threaded. Well, now they've made it a pass-through. Well, not everybody's caught up to that, and I don't blame these guys for this, but but it wasn't a year specific, but it's got the correct bolts to go through. This goes underneath. This goes underneath and lines up with those holes, and that's the rear mount of the trunk. And then you got these other bars that come up, from the other side. But what I'll need to do is I'll find out what length bolts I need, because obviously these are going to be too short, because these bolts think they're going to screw into the threaded frame. Well, it needs to go all the way through, which I'll sort all that out. But so I pulled the mount off and set it on here. Man, and it is keyed to my same key for my other bags. Those same friction lid. I like the little felt things down in there. It'd be nice to come up with something to set in there. I might just leave that in there by itself. Look at all the bolts, man. Everything's all nice stainless steel hardware. It actually looks like BMW hardware. If they had, Torx instead of a hex. But let me flip this thing over. You can see how this mounts. So how it, get my finger caught on that thing. So how it mounts, it locks. You have to lock it. It doesn't snap in like this. So let me flip it over. Heave ho. Here we go. Boy, they are not messing around. There's no chintzy quality here at all. But this is how it lassos down. So it goes in and catches the back of this and locks it to it. And of course, this is going to be bolted to all that stuff. And this is what your back rack's going to be. It's going to be hanging out the back. And this will come up like I showed you, and they'll be mounted to that. Then the front mounts over there, and you just slip this thing on through these lock pins, and this comes along, lassos the back of it, and bam, locks her down nice and solid. Very impressed. Been impressed so far, still impressed. And these, hold on, doing a flip again. These straps do. It seems amazing that these things are that strong, because I would imagine you can probably get some weight in these things. So it comes with, I guess, some longer screws, I'm assuming. And you put them underneath these plastic corners, and then this becomes like a handle in between. And it makes it easy for toting them around. I've seen the guys doing it in the reviews and stuff, so it looks cool. And apparently it's tough enough to handle that kind of weight. I guess you got to be careful how much weight you put in it. I'm sure there's a load limit or whatever. Made for the brave. Very nice though. And they're typical, you know, their seam that goes all the way around. And they're essentially waterproof. There's nothing getting in there. Not very easily anyway. Yeah, I'm excited. So that'll be perfect. That's a lot of room. That's 30 liters. That's a lot of room. And I think that's wider than a BMW. I think the BMWs aren't quite as wide. Definitely taller. But anyway, cool stuff. I'm very impressed. Well, hello there, YouTube. Holy moly. Monday went by in a flash. I was busy today. Man, a huge gap of time. I went up to say something or ask Kelly something. There's a guy getting Harley stuff for 03 Road King they just got. Oh man, that conversation went forever. And then the service guys, I don't know where they were, but they weren't at the counter. There's a guy. I said, well, hold on, let me grab one of the guys. He goes, you work on them? I was like, yeah. So went in this whole deal. He's trying to put a clutch together on a 15 or 1600 Nomad, and I got logged in. One of the service guys that logged into Kawasaki and pulled the manual up, and then one of our techs is injured, so he's helping at the parts counter. So he comes over, we get the guy all straightened out. And yeah, I think I was up there over an hour.
Yeah, you're up there.
I was up there a while. I just went up to get a cup of hot chocolate and say something to Kelly and go back down. Took a chunk out of my day.
Yeah.
But those are fun too, and it's nice to help people, meet people, relating to motorcycles. It's a cool world. Anyway, we're gonna roll.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and you guys have a wonderful Tuesday or Wednesday.
Heck yeah. All right. Thanks for watching.
See you in the morning.
All right. Bye-bye now.